views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Bella's Fashionistas Home Edition. I am your host, Flores Rebello. It is a pleasure to have you join us this afternoon. We trust that you and your loved ones are well and staying safe. In today's Bella's Fireside Chat conversation, we welcome the Director of Community and Social Services at Catholic Charities Betances Houses, who will speak to us about their initiative during COVID, Feeding the Neighbor program. Please join me in welcoming the Director of Community and Social Services at Catholic Charities Betances Houses, Latina and Dominicana, Paola Martinez. Paola, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Flericer, for inviting me. It is a pleasure for me to be part of this. And I say hi to the people who look at your program. So thank you so much. I am thrilled to be here.
I know it's been time when we have tried to get together, and unfortunately, throughout this time. But so happy to have you join us, and I'm so happy with the work that Catholic Charities is doing, not only in the Bronx, but I know that you guys are in all 5 boroughs, and you guys are a big agency, right?
We are actually the second largest social services provider in the nation. Here in New York, we cover Staten Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and we also cover areas outside of the New York City state, which is upstate, like Westchester, Putnam, and other areas. So we provide services for a lot of New Yorkers. We are very proud to be one of the main social services providers in the Bronx, which is where I am. As you mentioned before, I am the Director of Social Services for the Betances Houses in the South Bronx. We're talking about providing services to approximately 3,000 tenants who live in formerly NYCHA buildings. This is part of the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program. So after the city made those changes to the RAD program, Catholic Charities has become the social services provider for the Betances Houses, coordinating services with other agencies in the community.
They're not members, but residents, correct?
They are our residents, but also in the Bronx, we have our Bronx Center. It's located near the hub on near 149th Street. More exactly, so that if the people who are watching this program right now want to take note, we are located on 402 East 152nd Street, where we provide case management, and also we have a huge food pantry. So for example, if Bronx residents are looking for assistance to pay their Con Edison bill, if they have rent arrears, if they need direct assistance, if they need diapers for their kids, or any questions that they may have, immigration services, or just food, we can provide that through our Bronx Center.
Tell us about the experience throughout COVID.
You know, this pandemic has hit New York very hard. We obviously were not prepared for this to happen. And in the Bronx in particular, if you pay attention to the numbers, you will see that the Queens has a large number of cases, but the Bronx, the number of cases in the Bronx has been going up incrementally. Now, sometimes people do not have a place where they can turn to when they need help. So what we do is that we partner with elected officials, with community-based organizations. As I said before, working as the social services provider for housing is something that Catholic Charities continues to do, and I think that we continue to grow in that direction. So that gives us a unique advantage to be able to reach people and let them know about our program and about our services. But we would not be able to do all this work alone because we can only do so much. For example, in the Bronx, in my site at the Betances houses, I have a strong partnership with Bronx Works. And whenever people need information about jobs, about trainings, about education opportunities, or home-based services to preserve their housing, we work with them. And the best way to actually reach tenants and members of the community in general is to do outreach. But what happens when we can't deploy our people to the streets, or we don't want to expose people? We don't want to go into someone's home because, COVID is a very interesting virus. People can be sick and they don't know about it, and they can still infect other people, especially because we work with a lot of seniors. We have to be mindful and we have to be very careful. But seniors are a very vulnerable population, and we want to make sure that they have access to these services. So right now we are making phone calls. We are sending flyers to their homes to make sure that they know where they can call. We have a direct phone number where people can call if they have any question, whether it is about immigration, renewing their SNAPs, their applications for food stamps, for example. And what we do is that we are making those phone calls. We are using information, of course, from clients that come to us on a daily basis. But people also know where to find us because we work with so many churches in the community, right? And especially for Latinos and for African Americans, a church is a very special place where they not only receive the word of God, but they also receive other services. So we have that advantage to work with strong community leaders that spread the word about our services. And so far, even though our office, many of our workers are working remotely. I am working remotely. The tenant advocate that works with me at the Betances houses is also working remotely. We haven't had no issues referring people to services, providing services to those people who need it the most. Of course, we prefer to be, in our offices and to be on site. But this is the new reality. And the reality is that we can't close our doors. So people continue to come. And I would love to talk to you more about the work that we are doing with our Feeding Our Neighbors program, which I know you're very interested in. So most recently, we were able to organize a food pantry event on Holy Thursday, where we were able to provide a box of food and bags with produce to over 400 tenants and community members. So what we did is that we used our gloves, our masks, we implemented social distancing rules, and we were able to host this event. At the beginning, we were kind of hesitant because, we don't want people to be outside, but we also don't want them to struggle to find the food that they need for their families.
Tell us about how that food gets deployed to them. Do they come to you? Do you go to them, since you know who your residents are? How do you guys provide that food?
Right now, it's a combination of everything. So when I spoke with my supervisor recently, Diane Johnson, she was just telling me about the number of volunteers that she's recruiting just to make sure that there's enough packages of food. I volunteered in our food pantry about a week ago, and the line stretched from all the way from 152nd to 149th Street.
Wow.
In that location in the Bronx by the hub, we have a food pantry where individuals can register. It's like a membership, and they can pick up food every month. So every month they will receive several bags with food for approximately 4 to 6 people. And the food should last for 4 days or 5 days. Again, this is not a replacement of other services, but it is a supplement to the food that they already get, whether they purchase this food or they get food stamps. And all the food is fresh. We receive donations from Goya. I think that in the Bronx, we are the largest recipient of food from Goya. Lately, we have been receiving food from Fresh Direct. So the individuals that collect this food will receive canned food as well as fresh vegetables and fruits. We want to make sure that they also keep a balanced diet. That's very important for us to be able to provide nutritious food for families because there are many seniors and children that rely on this food. And people can go and pick up the food at the food pantry at the Betances houses and in other sites. We have other sites in the Bronx, and we receive requests from other locations and organizations. We have been able to deliver the boxes with food to them. So every week we receive the donations and we assemble all the boxes and the bags, and we are able to bring those. We have a big truck that makes the deliveries, approximately 3 deliveries every day with food to these sites. And in some instances, for example, when I have homebound tenants, people who cannot leave their homes for any circumstances, I coordinate a drop off, and I am able to either drop the food myself or recruit a volunteer who can help me and provide the food. But we just want to make sure that anybody who wants the help is able to receive it, that nobody goes hungry if we have the resources to help.
We will take a quick break, and when we return, Paola would give us more information on the additional services provided by Catholic Charities. Don't go anywhere.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
Welcome back. Paola, you also deliver these foods to several locations. Can you tell us briefly about that?
And again, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I just think that so many people need to know about all of the resources that are available through our agency. As I said, the food pantry, which is located by the Hub on 152nd Street, people can sign up and they would receive a card indicating it's like a membership where they just present that card and they present the card with their ID and they can pick up food once a month. They will receive bags with produce, canned food, and other resources. That food should last for approximately 4 to 5 days and is enough for a family of 4. And you can go to the food pantry, pick up your bag every month. You just have to do it once a month because they will stamp the membership card. But because we have different sites, we have a site, for example, at the Kennedy Center. People have options. So because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have expanded the number of sites that receive food. And we don't want for people to go and line up at the food pantry. We understand that the lines can be long and that people can be far from that location. So we have been partnering with churches and with other community-based organizations to deliver food. So our truck from the Feeding Your Neighbors program delivers the food to those sites so that people do not have to go and travel and expose themselves.
What are the additional services that you provide aside from food, from feeding the community?
We have a myriad of services to address issues that families have. One of our, I would say that one of the services that identifies or makes Catholic Charities distinct from other organizations is the immigration services that we provide. We provide immigration services for those who are the most vulnerable. Sometimes people that think that they would never be able to get a status are able to work on getting a status with one of our pro bono attorneys. None of the individuals that come to Catholic Charities gets charged from these services, and we work with some of the best pro bono attorneys, as well as the people that assist making sure that this program is available. If we are working with individuals who are very low income, we can also pay the fee for their applications, whether it is application for a residency card, for a green card, or for citizenship. And as you may know, Floriser, many people are not eligible to receive services because they don't have a status. So whenever we can help with regards to that, we do our best to facilitate. Perhaps I can tell you an example about a tenant that we have. And that person had put in an application a long time ago, went through a lot of difficulties. And once we reviewed the case, we saw a way for that person to be eligible to receive a green card. And that individual is in the process now, which will help him to find a job, to be able to continue to pay the rent. But for some individuals, it is hard. So if you lose your job at one point, you are going to struggle to pay your bills from Con Edison, your cable and your utility bills, as well as your rent. So we have case managers that are able to help families, to connect them with resources. We have different pockets of private funding. We work with other agencies to be able to support the families when they need it the most. So sometimes, we have families that come and they say, I have not been able to pay my Con Edison bill. It is accumulating, and we are able to help. And also, we have a diapers bank. Many families struggle because they don't have diapers for the kids. We are able to help with those. But in general, what we tell people is that if you feel that you're struggling, come to us. We may not have the service, but we are able to make a referral to another agency and expedite the process, because we are a conglomeration of different agencies. So Catholic Charities is actually a network of agencies working together to support families.
Could you tell us what are those other additional agencies that you work with? You had mentioned BronxWorks.
Another agency that we work very close with when it comes to dealing with arrears is part of the solution, or POTS. So each one of these agencies have similar requirements. They have thresholds for the amount of help that we can provide, that they can provide. But very often, what happens is that there is a combination of services, and we are able to assist families. For example, I had a family, where the parents lost their job, so they weren't able to pay their rent for several months, and it accumulated. So we were able to navigate the application process with the Human Resources Administration, which is a city agency that we work closely with, and then applying for our grant and a grant from part of the solution. And we were able to cover the entire amount of arrears.
How can they reach you? How can they be able to find out additional information about Catholic Charities?
We have a very comprehensive website where people can actually get a list of all of the services that we provide. And our website, if I will mention it here, and I will try to do it slowly, but I'm pretty sure that you would be able to share this information somehow. CatholicCharitiesNY.org. So that's Catholic Charities NY, like New York.org. In that website, people can see the plethora of services that we are able to provide, from children and youth services, food and shelter, assisting families during times of crisis, and also providing emotional support, which is something that a lot of people need in these times, as well as providing services for immigrants and refugees. And whenever people visit our website, they can access our live chat, and when people go to the website, it's very easy to use, and there is a section where people can access the need help, where they will find information about our helpline. And the phone number for our helpline is listed there. I can say it here is 888-744-7900, 888-744-7900, and people can call us between 9 to 8 p.m., or they can send us a message through our website so that they can contact us. Our case managers will contact them and follow up with any service requests. Of course, we are always encouraging people to call 311. When they call 311, they can also ask for Catholic Charities. I'm pretty sure that they can get transferred from there, or 311 will provide information. And on the website as well, they can make requests for help. So they just put their name, their email address, their phone number, and any comments, and submit that request, and someone from our team will contact them. And I have to say that, they're very good contacting people, calling people back. I have been making referrals because for me as a director, I have to use the same channels someone from the outside would use. So I sent an email, and usually a case manager supervisor will assign a case manager the same day, and people should be receiving a phone call the same day or the following day.
What additional services during COVID are you providing aside from mental health and food?
I think that the services that we provide are very comprehensive, and we haven't had to incorporate any new or special service. What we have been doing is expanding the outreach and finding ways to deliver those services, because people still need our help, and we cannot close our doors. So we have to be innovative in terms of delivering these services to community members, to our residents, and just being more available for them. But in terms of the plethora of services that we have, we continue providing the same services, and also being more mindful and thinking outside of the box in terms of the partnerships that we are building. So for example, right now I am working with a transportation company to provide transportation options for essential workers, because people need to get to work, and so many of them are afraid of using the subway, right? So what I am doing is that I am not creating a service, but I am connecting with an organization that provides a really good service and is looking to expand its services to the Bronx. And, I just have to facilitate the connection. So that's what's exciting about my work. And I can tell you enjoy your work so much because you kind of do the same. You don't have to provide a service, but you bring in people who have the knowledge and have the power to make things happen. So that's kind of what I do. I just, I make phone calls and I think about, what do these people need? Oh, they need more transportation alternatives. They need online education. Something very exciting that I am working on. I would say that, yes, this is part of the expansion of our services, is that I am working on a proposal to be able to provide mentorship to the students that are at home. Many of our families, they do not speak English. Some of them have very low levels of education, and now they have to support students at home with their homework. Sometimes it's tough for parents. So I am looking at a way to provide that mentorship and also provide equipment for some of the students that may not have received laptops or iPads from the Department of Education.
Thank you for providing all of these insights and incredible information that I know everyone could take advantage of. Where should we contact you?
I will give everyone the information where they can contact us in our direct line. Actually, if you are in the Bronx and you need information about our services, do not hesitate to call me directly. My number is 646-734-1710. Again, 646-734-1710. That's my work cell phone, of course. I will make sure that, if you need assistance and you need a referral to a case manager, I will put them directly in contact with one of our case managers who will be happy to assist. I think that, especially for people in the Bronx, let's not forget about the Bronx. The Bronx has been hit very, very hard with this pandemic, and I hope that, we can keep bringing services to the families that need it the most.
Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Bellas Fashionistas and our media partner at BronxNet TV. To watch more of our programming, please visit bellasfashionistas.com and bronxnet.org. Take care. Have a great day.